Let's do it. All right. So, first question, let's just dive in with how did the whole idea for Go Pain to Power first come about?
Okay, so as you probably know, I was busy in the past decade, really, ever since I came to the United States, building my several businesses. And my journey really went from being a marketing entrepreneur. I used to run a healthcare marketing agency to then realizing that I can take all of my monetary resources and amplify those in cryptos. So I actually started building a crypto education business. But then something very cool happened about a year ago. I was in Bali for a business mastermind. And at that same mastermind was also a physician who was known, who claimed that he was able to help people with pain in a very short amount of time. So, long story short, within less than 4 minutes, he healed me from pain that I had been living with for really over 20 years, chronic back pain due to a condition I had been diagnosed with in 2002 called ankylosing spondylitis. So he did a spontaneous treatment on me in a restaurant, actually, of all places. And within 4 minutes, all the pains disappeared. Of course, I was like almost everyone who is exposed to this treatment. I was wondering, is this only placebo? Is this going to have lasting effects? And boy, was I surprised that it did have lasting effects. Actually, to the point that 2 weeks in, he messaged me and said, if you want, I can teach this method to you and Andrea. And of course, we took him up on that offer. We traveled to the UK since he's located in the UK. And for about 4 intensive days, we underwent training on hand, in person training. And that was then followed up by a number of also Zoom sessions where we learned the theoretic aspects of it. Now, after our training, Andrea and I started traveling a lot. We spent a lot of time in Amsterdam. Then we went to Barcelona, where we took a cruise to Miami to come back to the United States. And along that way, we offered our quick resets, meaning we approached people and we told them, if you have pain in your back, in your shoulders, in your knees, in your hips, give us 5 minutes and we can likely relieve the pain. We got so good at it that we actually had a 90% success rate. So it was pretty easy for us to quote unquote guarantee a pain free experience. Once we arrived in the United States back from our travels about a month ago, Andrea and I decided to really focus all of our energies on building a brand, Go Pain to Power, that would henceforth be our new business. So we started seeing people here in San Antonio. We have a treatment room downstairs. And we also started building the foundations of our brand. The website was created and we started networking accordingly.
When you and Andrea started offering these quick resets and you saw that 90% success rate, how did that shape your vision for the brand and the kind of impact you wanted to make with Go Pain to Power?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think that I realized that this power that this method consists of, this healing power, is something that I could start comfortably offering to a large audience, to many different people, at a rate where I really knew that what I was doing was having great impact, because it's important to me in life that I don't waste my time here on this planet doing things that have no impact. Having impact is one of the most important aspects of every human being. And the rate of success of this healing technique is just mind blowing. What practice what modalities out there that has a 90% success rate. And I just realized this is something that we can offer that, quite frankly, I don't know any other practice or healers that have that kind of success rate. I always within me dwells a entrepreneur always. And of course I connected this to this is an amazing way to help people and also make a living in a much more meaningful way.
Absolutely. That makes so much sense. It sounds like it was just the perfect blend of purpose and entrepreneurship coming together. And that 90% success rate is definitely something to be proud of. And it's a great foundation for the impact you want to have. Thanks for sharing that. As you started building out Go Pain to Power and seeing those early results, how did the local community in San Antonio react? And what kind of responses did you start getting from people you worked with locally?
Yes. So you have to keep in mind that we've only been here for barely a month and now are getting ready to actually spend December in Bali and January in Japan for continued education. But I will say that this short amount of time has really seen impressive results in terms of people seeking us to help them. And I think two examples stand out to me were number one, a long term acquaintance in the field of wellness reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm going to have to send a few people to you." And the other powerful example is also just me connecting with people on Facebook that are from San Antonio and offering them a sample session, and then that leading to more opportunities, and those opportunities being referrals, but also being asked, for example, to provide a workshop at a Pilates studio, because the owner wants to offer workshops that touch on the realm of healthcare and wellness. So I think this very short amount of time that we've been here, barely a month, has already seen lots of great successes from just the being here and showing people what I can do. I was at the gym, my local gym, and I met Jeff, who happens to also be a crypto alliance member. And he basically mentioned to me that he had some back pain and knee pain. And I treated him for less than 3 minutes, or I think it was 6 minutes, and he saw immediate results, which then led to him having come to me for 2 sessions. So it is something that is very powerful word of mouth. And I definitely am also looking to increase the word worldwide, really.
That's fantastic. And it's amazing to hear how quickly that local buzz started building up. Even in such a short time, it sounds like you've made a real impact and the community is already seeing the value. And I love that story about Jeff at the gym. That's such a great example of just how personal and immediate that kind of word of mouth can be. Could you share a little bit about what someone can expect when they experience the pain to power method or one of Andrea's sound healing sessions for the first time? Just paint a picture of what that journey looks like for someone new.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, when you come to our office, it all starts with an intake where we just really understand what is your history in terms of emotional and physical pains. And that helps me build a map almost of where I should look in communicating with the brain to help you just feel more relaxed and make eventually give you pain relief. Once that is done, we will follow up with a few with vibrational medicine, really, which is a second part of the treatment where you are being accompanied in a different room. And Andrea has set up a nice room with a mat on the floor to relax, and sound bowls and tuning forks. And that almost seals the initial treatment in a way where the body is and brain is really being put in a state where it can receive and also persist the healing received. So that is something that is definitely very powerful. That is what happens when you come to an in-person meeting. Now, I will say that we have had three very powerful instances of remote healing where I basically combine my knowledge in Reiki with the pain to power method. And yeah, I mean, it's only for people who are open to this and who believe in energies and us all being connected. But that said, as we travel through Bali and also Japan over the coming 2 months, remote healings will be the only way of interacting with us. And I definitely want to invite my email newsletter subscribers to book such a session in case they see that as a viable option for them. Again, this can only work if you believe that it can, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. And I think that's a wonderful picture to paint for your newsletter subscribers. It gives them a clear idea of what to expect both in person and remotely. And sounds like a really great way to invite them into that experience and let them know that they can still connect with you even while you're traveling. So I think that's going to work really nicely for your first newsletter.
All right. Thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you sometime